Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to be creating an AI research agent from scratch in Python and also in HTML for this nice looking website. Here's a little demo of it. So, for example, I'll write a query like all about cats. I don't know, just all about cats, and then put a send in it. It's going to be thinking with Gemini here. I'm going to say that this is more of an advanced project than the previous project. I just made this project because um, I know advanced. This is more cooler than the previous video I created about research agent. It's just a bit more advanced and nice looking website in this. So you can see it is already taught and researched the web. See all the 20 links. It's reading now. Okay, let it read all 20 links. Okay, and if I click on one of them, I'll go to it like a nice see this, and then look, it finished, and then it has a summarized a research brief of all about cats, and then see it says all about cats here. Yep. See dog free and all that. And that's what we're gonna be creating for today's project. So let's get into it. This project we're gonna be using Visual Studio Code. It is a free editor available to use for everyone. I just created a new folder. If you don't know how to create a new folder, if you click on the top file and click on open folder, you'll come here and then you can just click new folder and then rename the folder and then click on the folder and click select folder. And then you automatically will come here. Let's start with adding the adding the files. So we'll create a file called .env. Here we're going to put all the credentials. Another file called app.py. Here we're going to be deploying our backend to frontend, and then we'll create a research.py. This is where the main logic of researching will come. Create a folder called templates, and inside the templates we'll add a chat.html. Here's the cool website. It's probably 400 lines of code, so in the chat.html when we go through it, I'll probably go a bit faster because it might take a long time to write all 400 lines of code. Okay, so this is the whole file folder, very simple, basic. So let's start with the env. We're going to start by adding the credentials. Let's start by connecting the search engine of Google, because we're going to be using Google search, Wikipedia, and that's it, because it's a very simple basic project. So we're going to be writing in caps Google API key. And how to get this Google API key? If you go to your browser, just mine here, and write in Google Cloud, and then type in the first one right here. And you come here. If you're new to this, you should click on the start free and then log in. But if you're already logged in, you can just click on console over here. You go down here and click on APIs and services. And then if you're new and you don't have a folder yet, if you click on the top here, open project picker, click on it and click on new project right here. You'll come here and then just rename this tutorials for me, but you can rename whatever you like. Tutorials, and I click on create. Oopsies. The name, oh, sorry. Tutorials and click create. It's going to be creating over here. Okay, and then once it's created, is click select project over here. And then your project is going to be selected right here. Okay, so now let's enable the API so it works for the API keys. So click on enable API and search in here custom Google API. And let's just one custom search API, not the others. And then there will be a button here called enable. Click on it. And after it is connecting and finished, we'll start creating our credentials. It has finished now, and then we'll go back out, and on the side here, click on credentials, and on the top here, create credentials and click create API key. It's going to be using all the APIs we enable, which is only one, and it's going to put it in a one key. That's very useful. And let's copy it, close it, go back to our folder here and paste it in there. Okay. The next one is the Google custom search engine ID. We need the ID and the key because it's more security and better. So go here, click on the top out and click on programmable engine right here, search engine, and click on the Google version of it. Click get started. Once it's created, we'll add a new search engine, and I'm just gonna name it as the what do we call our cloud project tutorials. We want to search the whole web, which is cool. Image search and save search, and I am not a robot, and click create. Now it's create and click customize. And in the basics section, if you go down to the search engine ID and copy this is the search engine ID. If you go back to your project and paste it here. Last one is the Gemini API key. Okay, this is the brain of the agent we're going to be creating. This is probably agent, but I'm not sure. But it's probably agent mode. So let's write in Gemini API key right here. Gemini API key is free to use if you have a cloud account. And then let's create API key. And you have remembered we created a tutorials folder together. Click on that or whatever folder you're using and click on create API key. It's going to be generating the API key here, and we're going to copy it back out, go back here and paste it. That's our full env, 3 credentials. And now let's get into the research.py, the main logic of here. So now I'll open the research.py. Let's start with importing. Import OS, import requests, import BS4, import BS4 as, oh, sorry, okay, import OS, import requests from BS4 beautiful soup, from .env, load.env, from Google API client.http, import the build, import the import build. Oh, change this to discovery, sorry. Discovery. There it goes working now. Sorry. Next one is import Wikipedia from go search import ddgs as ddgs. Notice ddgs, or if you like you can put add ddgs, but I won't. And then we go import Google generative AI as gen AI. Last one is import time. We're going to be importing the time for which reason. First we're going to load the .env. We're basically going to load the full env so we can get the full credentials of it. And then we're going to get API key ID. Get API key. os.getEnv the credentials, and then we're going to be configuring the Gen AI right there. Get the API key. We're going to be now defining a new thing called diff search deep here. Google search deep query the num results of 10 in num pages to perform Google things. The keys here and start Google search. That's the cool thing. We're going to change that in the website, and then now we're going to add this for I in range of it. Gonna try to do the exceptions there, and then we'll do return all results. Return. This is the full Google search key definition. You can copy this in the GitHub link repository below and link in description, and we'll keep going. Next we're going to be using is the Wikipedia. Let's do def Wikipedia search. Okay. Def Wikipedia search. Try to execute the Wikipedia dot page error right there. That's the whole Wikipedia search, because Wikipedia is just a little hand. It's not more advanced than the Google search. The Google search is the most important part of this whole project. Last one is the DuckDuckGo search. It's very small code and it's very simple one. Perform DuckDuckGo search and query. Okay. The next one is the def browse the read content, because we will make this agent a bit more advanced. So it's going to read content from the searches we made from this, and this, and also browse links from Google search and read them. That's the thing that happened in the demo, remember? It shows the cool thing that is researching. Okay, for I in URL and the 5 links here, and the content link and then the HTML parser is where we're gonna browse and read, is making more advanced, cool. And then we're gonna paste that in there. Page content dot append. Page contents dot append. The URL link is basically saying to show the user what link and URL we're using and show what we're reading of the content here. And that's that. And then we're gonna do return page contents right there. Next one is we're gonna make the, remember at the start we did a thinking thing. It's gonna decide if this query is equal to the Google search or is it for me, Gemini. Google latents Wikipedia search. Okay, and then take that down, paste that, and that's the searching. If this query is equal to these, then use these. If not, just do summary and all that things. And then last few words, which is gonna be, oopsies. It's gonna be try to print the research Gemini API key, which will not be in the chat interface. It will be in the terminal, and then the response will come out with the research. And that's the whole data research here. Now let's get into the app py. Control S, save that, close it, and open the app py here. Now we're gonna be putting some importations. Import Flask, import research. We're going to import our file we got. Import threading, import time, import the Google dot generative AI, import gen gen AI, gen AI. Let me fix this. I fixed that as gen AI, and then we're gonna last but not least import OS. Now we're gonna uh, define app as equal to Flask thing. Okay. Oh, we should have done this from oopsies. From Flask import the Flask. Okay, and the request and the JSONify and the render template here. And next we're gonna do is make a memory, just the simplest memory for that task. So make a little memory and a string array. Next we're gonna get the Gemini API key again and place it here. Okay. And then next we're gonna run task. So it's basically saying if the query has came, then run this task, which is basically run research.py. Okay. And then we're gonna put another step called the browse content right here. Okay. Right here, browse content. Okay. And the next one is we're gonna synthesize it, which means to shorten all that data into a small report like normal AIs do. And then we're just gonna put task ID, if error, then that. If task completed, then completely successfully in the task thing, or else if failed, then failed. Next definition, which is gonna be the def is research query, which means is the research query appropriate for the research or is it appropriate for the Gemini? See, clarifies it. We are not going to be using 2.5, 1.5 Pro, because if you're using the free plan, okay, you will say error, but I am, so I'll just put it this because it's much easier for people. Okay, and then we're gonna last thing called app route, and then that slash def index, and then we're gonna put this return. Now we're gonna do at app route, a new route right there. Classify the query, which is gonna be using the thing. This is where the core thing is. If the query is provided and it is classified to do the research, then just do the research. But if it says don't do the research and do the Gemini thing, they just do the Gemini thing. It's basically clarifying the user saying. And then we're gonna do a start research, which if the user is provided start research and Gemini went through it, then they start the research. If if it is error, then say no query provided or something. But if it is, it's gonna do it. And then here is the simple chat. Yep, simple chat. Okay. We are not going to be using 2.5 Pro. Using 2.5 Flash. Okay. And then the last thing is the last task ID thing, Remember we defined on the top here. There it is. Task ID here is gonna now tell it to the user in the website. That that's the whole app PY here. Now let's just Control S, save it, go to the template and open the chat HTML. Oh boy, this is gonna be a very big lines of code, but I'm just gonna go stick with it for you guys and start it. So let's do doc type, gonna style it. Okay, style the body, and then we're gonna do the keyframe. It's nice styled background, body before, and then the keyframe move gradient, and then the chat thing, styling the whole chat box and things, styling the whole chat box. Okay, and then we're gonna do the thinking, like the cool thinking animation and the loading animation in this website. Right there, animation. And we're gonna do the rotation thing, which is the cool animation rotating thing. And then also the link button. You can click the link button and then you can go to that website thing. And then the cool hover effects on that thing also. And then the thinking pulse is making the background more cooler when it's thinking. Like, have you seen it on the demo? The background changes when it's thinking, if you have seen that. And then we're gonna add the drop down. After the drop down happened, you can see through what it showed, and then click on it and show that all the different things. And that's the whole style part. We're gonna start adding the header right there, the whole header. Okay, and then we're gonna add the form ID, the chat form right there, chat form right there. Okay, and then now we're gonna add the script, the scripting here, the scripting here. This is the JavaScript, that's the style on the top, and this is the index. It's all three in one, what do you call, one whole file, if you know that. Okay, and then if user, then do that right there. If user, if message container came, then message the backend, please. And function, gonna get the URL and provide it, showing the user what URL has came onto it, and then the icon, if you have seen in the icon thing, then a new function called create link element. So when you clicked on it, the new link page will provide here, and then we want to return it, return links container. We're nearly there. And then the function to toggle down the thinking thing, the function to toggle down, drop down, and then how to format the text, like when it says some the key information highlighted in the summary and all that highlighted. Let me here, and then let the formatted HTML here. Okay, and then make the sentence slightly larger so it's more easier to read, as I did in the demo right there. Okay, and then we're gonna add the chat form, and then with the submit button, it'll go to the user backend right there. And then the thinking thing. So when the thinking start time comes, then it's basically saying that's when it's your chance to go and get all the details and things. So we can finish the provider what they want. And Here's the search, same for the searching also, thinking step and searching web also. And try the, what do we call, try starting the response for users. Try starting the response for users. Oopsies. Is that okay? Yep. Yep. Okay. And const start the data right there. Start data and task ID. And then search it. And then now reading and summarizing. That's your chance to, what do we call, do your thing in the backend. It's basically saying. And then new poll. The new poll interval reading step. So we can see the cool reading step on there. And then we're nearly finished, guys. Okay, and then we're gonna catch the error and say to the user, sorry, we have error. We can't do it now. Right there. Let me just fix this error. There you go. Is there error on this? No. And then we'll do this, and then pop. There you go. And then last but not least, we're gonna end the whole project. And yeah, that's it. Okay, that's solved the project. Let me just fix these errors and come back. Now I just fixed all the errors. It's all clean and good. Just prompt these a bit more better and you'll be all good. And yeah, that's the whole chat HTML in just less than like lots of time. That's 400 lines of code. So if you know how to run this code, if you do Control Shift P and do Python, create terminal right there, and then just do Python app.py to run the app.py. Okay, that. And then if you want, you can just copy this URL right there. Copy this, go back to your browser, open the new browser and paste it right there and enter it. And this is the website. Let's just do all about cats. All about cats. Thinking as the same as the demo. And let's see if it's any error, then we'll fix it. But if everything's all good, then we're good with it. And I see there's no errors. That's very good. And then let's see. Yeah, everything's all good. Live stage scare and all that is included, which is good. Thank you guys for watching my video tutorial. I hope you liked it. Please smash the subscribe button and like all about it and comment what you want me to do next time. Thanks and see ya later.